Hey everybody, my name is Anthony Galavis. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday. Actually, it's not a good Sunday, right? Raider Nation. Raiders lose today to the Chiefs 31-0 at Arrowhead. First time the Raiders been shut out at Arrowhead in such a long time. In fact, dating back to 2000, looking at the all-time series, the last time the Raiders were shut out was in 2011 when they played in Oakland. The Chiefs won that game 28-0. So, the thing about the Raiders today is, nobody expected them to win. To be honest, this is a tough sled. Uh, let's be honest with each other about that. I predicted the Chiefs to win, but in this fashion, no. This is very embarrassing. Uh, very bad loss. Not a bad loss, but just the way that they perform out there, the lack of performance out there. The stat that I'm looking at right now is 31st downs for the Chiefs to the Raiders 30 offensive plays, and the Raiders just only had about 94 total yards, or actually, excuse me, actually 95 total yards to the Chiefs 434. So very one-sided win for the Chiefs today, and the Raiders dropped to 2-5. Uh, Also in the game where Max Crosby had to leave, had some soreness in his knee, so there was that. Geno Smith, really, he was 10 of 16 for 67 yards. Uh, you know, uh, and then Ashton Jeanty was 6 carries for 21 yards. So the Raiders really didn't have much time to get the ball because the defense just couldn't do anything about the Chiefs' offense. Um, where do the Raiders go from here? They go to the bye week, and I think it's a good time for them to, just to take a break for a little bit, uh, recharge their batteries, and come back after the bye week and face the Jaguars. Raiders are 2-5 now. Uh, Coming up, the Raiders face the Jaguars at home, then face the Broncos on the road, and then come back to face the Cowboys. Three games that are going to be tough. No doubt about it. I already tweeted already saying that you know this team is the worst that I've seen. Last year's team was a lot better than this. At least last year's team showed a lot of effort and heart, and this one hasn't shown anything. And I just don't know what is going to happen for the Raiders. Probably too little, too late. Geno Smith talked to the media today about the game, and somebody asked, "When you are at your best, there's a lot of under center, a lot of play action. How much more would you like to see that and play to your strength?" I think this is kind of like, pointing at Chip Kelly here with that question. But Geno Smith responding goes, "I think I have a lot of strength, so I don't think it's one particular thing. I just have to play better. That's flat out. Whether it's a drop back, play action, quick game, run game, I've got to play better." That's one answer that he put out there. Let's see here. It's been a hard lesson this season with penalties and shooting yourselves in the foot. At what point does it have to start turning over to lessons that you're learning, to lessons that you're applying? He just went on and on about it. He said it should have already turned over in my opinion. Like I said, we're a developing young team. When I look at it, it's going on. Look, I'm gonna stop there. The Raiders are young indeed. Okay, but that's no excuse. They're professionals, and when Pete Carroll says we're going to win as many games, we're in win mode now. You expect them to be in win mode, and they haven't shown that all season. They've beaten teams like the Titans and the Patriots, who are looking really good. Makes you wonder what's going on here, and I just don't understand what's going on with the Raiders as a team. Uh, Jacoby Myers didn't play, so the Raiders went young at receiver. Jack Beck got to play today. Dante Thornton as well. And what's going to happen to Jacoby Myers? Is he going to be there by the time the Raiders play against the Jaguars, or are the Raiders going to trade him? don't know. Going into the season, I thought the Lakers, excuse me, the Raiders were just were coming short in free agency to fill the holes, fill the shoes at wide receiver. There's no true receiver. Trey Tucker, he's having a great season. Think highly of him, but I don't think he's number one. The offensive line wasn't even touched. Still in shambles, I believe. Jackson Power Johnson was overpowered by Chris Jones today. That's expected, but can't do that. See, defensive backs. Kyle Blue Kelly. Don't know what's up with him. Let's see, who else? Lonnie Johnson's still out, so he's expected to be back pretty soon. But, the Raiders really did attack free agency like they should. I think this is a lesson learned for John Spytek, the general manager, of, when the season's over with, they gotta figure out, okay, this is what we're gonna do. Now, like I said before, the Raiders are they're not a playoff team, but what I expected from the Raiders this year is to win at least 6 games. Last year they won 4. I expected them to win 6 games. Where are those 6 games going to come from? Maybe the Browns, but the Browns look good today too. So it's going to be hard for the Raiders to figure out how they're going to turn the season around. Now, I don't think they're going to go on a win streak here where they're going to be at 500. Despite what Pete Carroll says, they're not going to win many games this year. Again, like I said, it's a lesson learned, and I think that when we'll talk about it more at the season end because there's still a lot of football left. But I just think that the Raiders need to figure out a way during the bye week how to make this team better. Whether it's trading away one of your guys to get some draft asset or whatever, or getting somebody from the practice squad from another team, so be it. All hands on deck. I think the Raiders need to figure themselves out. Adam Butler was out with an injury today too. So that kind of hurt the Raiders a lot as well. So where do the Raiders go from here? Like I said, we don't know. The bye week I feel comes at the opportune time where they can recharge their batteries and figure it out. I just see a lot of potential in this Raiders team, but for whatever reason, it's not showing. And I know it's a shock to you guys for me to say that. That's why it's very frustrating to watch to see the product they put out on the field. Because it just feels like, that they're the worst NFL team out there. There's other teams with like the Jets losing today to the Panthers. The Raiders can look at it that way. They're not the worst team, but they play like the worst team today in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes didn't play in the fourth quarter, so the Chiefs weren't threatened by the Raiders at all since an opening kickoff. So I'm just wondering. I'm gonna pose a question to you guys. What do you guys want to see from the Raiders after the bye week? I know Kenny Pickett came in and played for a little bit. I know he fumbled that exchange. But what do you want to see from the Raiders? It just seems like bad luck continues to follow the Raiders. And is the tide going to turn? And are the Raiders going to be able to be a winning franchise again? Where consistently each year they're a winning team instead of picking at the top of the draft. I know you guys are sick of it. What do you guys want to see? What do you guys want to see from the Raiders for the rest of the season at 2-5? What are you hoping for? You tell me, and I'll listen. I'll see your guys' question or answers. Like I said, I'm posing the question to you guys. What do you guys want to see from the Raiders for the rest of the season? And I'll look at the answers and I'll touch base on that and do another video and touch base. Probably tomorrow or Tuesday. So, anyways, that's all I have to say today. I'm not gonna go on the rant today because I went on the rant today on the on Twitter, so I had to say what I had to say. So, appreciate you guys watching, and I'll talk with you guys again tomorrow. Again, my name is Anthony Galaviz. Hit the like, subscribe button, and we'll talk again. And sorry for my voice. Was lost it over the weekend, so trying to gain it back. So, again, thank you for watching.